Hello, dear listener. We are off at the SoCal Rover Club's Rover Rendezvous this holiday weekend, so we've picked a classic Underpowered Hour episode for you. This one recapping last year's Destination Defender to get you in the mood for Destination Defender Malibu coming up in just a couple short weeks. If you haven't registered yet, go ahead and use code DDLA-LRCLUB. That's DDLA-LR Club to get a free registration and come out and say hi to the team. In the meantime, here's the show. It's the Underpowered Hour. On this week's show, we're live from Destination Defender, deep in the heart of Texas. We're joined by Jeff Aaronson and the full cast of Jenna, Liza, and Abigail. And now, here's the show. Welcome to the Underpowered Hour. I'm Steve Barris, mild-mannered television executive by day and Land Rover collector by night. You can find out more about our cars and what we're working on at thebarriscollection.com or follow us on Instagram at thebarriscollection. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Ike Goss.
Thank you to everyone joining us today. I own and operate Pangolin 4x4 in Springfield, Oregon, where we live and breathe Land Rovers. Check us out online on Facebook, Instagram at Pangolin 4x4. Let's get started.
All right, Ike. Well, welcome to the back of your rental car on the way to the airport. We got an Uber operated by Jenna.
It's great. You know, we rode in some Land Rovers yesterday, and today we're going to ride on some planes.
Yeah.
We're going to go see some more Land Rovers.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So we're just fresh off Destination Defender 23 here in beautiful, I guess it's not Somerville, Texas. What did Joey say last night? He said
Somerville,
Texas.
Somerville, the correct pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was it's a neat little town. Mm-hmm. And there's we went to a Western wear store and we got some authentic
Texas hats.
Oh,
Yep.
We're driving by right there. There it is. There's South Texas Tack.
A shout out to Brandon at South Texas Tack. He is the hat matter over there. Mm-hmm. And what an incredible job he has shaping and steaming the hats to different styles and stuff. Really a skilled craftsman.
It really is. Yeah, it was fun. I have never had the hat steaming process done in front of me. It was cool.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah,
getting your hat steamed.
That's right. Come on, South Texas Tack, get your hat steamed. That's only $20. It's a pretty good deal. Yeah, but that was fun. That was an interesting adventure. That was at the recommendation of a very good friend of the show and patron, Mr. Bob Steele.
Yeah, man, what a guy he is. He is an incredible Land Rover enthusiast, always.
And also a Western wear enthusiast. I had no idea.
Who knew? Oh, yeah, he got all decked out with fancy new duds. Two hats. Which I think I saw him at one point wearing both hats at the same time.
Oh, for sure.
And then a pair of boots as well.
A couple of jars of pickle juice later.
He is renowned for his moonshine pickles.
Oh my goodness!
And man,
it was good.
They are both good and powerful.
Oh yeah, that is a serious. You could easily run a Land Rover on that pickle juice. No question, it'll burn it.
Pretty significant. So let's talk a little bit about Destination Defender.
So we arrived here late Thursday night, and we were lucky enough to find a little Airbnb here in the town of Brenham, Texas, which is just about an hour, not even 45 minutes away from the ranch, the Iron Horse Ranch.
The Iron Horse Ranch is a geographical oddity. It is 45 minutes from everywhere.
From everywhere. Yeah, that is exactly true. But when John Bon Jovi founded the ranch in 1872. That was just where he decided to put it, and it's a real nice place.
It was a nice place. Excellent accommodations for an event like this. they had it all.
They really did. They really literally had it all.
I can't think of any amenity or activity that they did not have.
Yeah, they had fly fishing.
Yeah.
They had skeet shooting.
Giraffe riding.
Did you
riding.
get
to do that?
No, I didn't. I missed that one. Yeah, I did do the gazelle strangling, which was fun. Which was fun.
No, seriously, they really had a pretty excellent
giant slack line over the little lake that they had.
They had like daredevils slacklining like 50 feet off of this lake, and they had it all. They had CrossFit.
Yeah.
They had fly fishing. They had skeet shooting. They had off-road driving. They had like 17 musical acts. They had barbecue. They had I mean,
some very good barbecue actually. They had the Defender Smokehouse.
That was
it was great.
I mean, it was over the top. They had a electronic drone fireworks show.
They did, yes. Yeah. Oh my God. It was it was amazing. So we had no less than 2 panels that our direct group was responsible for, and then if you count Nick Dimbleby's 3 and Michael Bishop's 2, it was a packed weekend. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of rain, so they had to sort of pivot on Friday and move all of the sessions to Saturday underneath a little sort of veranda, and that was great. That worked out. Lots of people were interested. The sessions were all full. Those will be in future podcast episodes. Ike and I, along with our good friend Michael Bishop and our new good friend Laura, we did a conversation all about the first off the line 50th anniversary Land Rover Defender 90, sometimes also referred to as the Diamond Edition.
Yes, that was a little bit interesting.
I believe that was because it was commissioned by David Lee Roth, right? As a Diamond Dave edition.
I thought it was Ted DiBiase.
Oh, Ted DiBiase. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It was interesting. A little footnote in Land Rover history that I was not previously aware of, but a Land Rover engineer had found this first off mass Defender 90 Special Edition, and she's had it ever since. She brought it out was enough to loan it to the event, and they had it parked alongside some other both new and historic vehicles, the Rudamaya 110, a Gendarme 80-inch from Belgium that was restored by the Reborn program.
Yeah, that was a nice looking car.
And of course, the Eclipse Rebel 130 that had recently competed down there in Southern California.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was looking real good up there on top of the hill. And
they had Camel Trophy veterans. They had photography workshops. They had outdoor cooking workshops. They had there was cooking going on everywhere. I mean, there was utility vehicles full of stoves that just kept moving around the property, and they'd pop them up and cook stuff. There was a whole cooking thing down by the camping area.
Yeah, we got some great footage there with the outdoor chefs, and oh man, they made a ginger apple cider. Holy moly!
Yeah, and the place where they made the ginger apple cider was not the outdoor cooking place that I was referring to. There was another one you didn't see that we met our good friend Jeff Aaronson, who was also there for the event.
Yep.
He is still lost in the woods looking for his iPad.
In fact,
if you see it, please call Jeff Aaronson.
In fact, this is a perfect time to throw to our field correspondent, Liza and Abigail, who are still at the event. We abandoned them.
We have another Land Rover event to go to. We got a stacked weekend here, and
I believe they've found Jeff Aaronson. So we'll let's throw it over to Liza and Jeff Aaronson, still at Destination Defender.
Let's see if he's found that iPad.
Thanks, Ike and Steve. I am here at Destination Defender with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, our very favorite, Jeff Aaronson, editor-in-chief of Rovers Magazine and longtime friend of the show. Thank you for coming on
Thank you, Liza. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much.
We're sitting in front of the fire. We're out here surrounded by really awesome Defenders here in Texas. So how was your weekend?
So the weekend for me has been nothing short of extraordinary.
I love that.
It has been. First off, one of the big pluses for this event was working with JLR, with Land Rover, to actually embrace the enthusiast community here in Texas.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, the Texas Rovers Club and their organization have been really generous with support and enthusiasm for both the magazine and letting us come to their events and cover them for the event.
I love that. I mean, as you know, I moderated a panel yesterday with Laura Shacklet and
Sarah Caldwell,
who both are very involved in SCAR and their local clubs, and they've done amazing work.
They really have.
Really like growing their enthusiast club here in Texas.
Right. And one of the pluses for this event, which I don't know that was intentional for Land Rover, but they actually finally got to meet, and not at just the dealer level, but at this corporate level, these enthusiasts who populated the camping grounds, who were enjoying all of the activities that they put together for it.
Yeah.
So to know that somehow the readers of the magazine have had an opportunity to connect with Land Rover and vice versa.
Yeah.
That Jaguar Land Rover, it is very much so.
Two-way trail, maybe.
Two-way trail. We're in Texas after all, right? Now,
and this venue is, you know, a market improvement over last year. This venue is massive.
So,
maybe almost too big. It did feel a little bit like it was impossible to do it all and to see it all this weekend.
That's the challenge. This is a stunning, 2,400 acres of property.
It's spectacular.
It is. But you don't, unless you actively go find people, you don't see them.
Yeah.
And one of the advantages for last year's event, from my perspective, was that we were all, the central camping area was surrounded by all the activities.
Right.
So you got to see everyone, and everyone with a newer Defender model or a newer Land Rover model got to actually see the heritage vehicles.
Right.
And be around those folks.
Yes. It felt here like, I mean, for me, I had a very busy itinerary this weekend. I had a lot of people I needed to talk to, sessions that I was attending, content we were creating. I struggled to get out to a lot of the peripheral areas. I didn't get to see a lot of the really neat activities that they had going on. I know we sent our production assistants out there. Ike and Steve covered a lot of it, but I really ended up kind of staying in this main central area all weekend, which, you know, like you say, double-edged sword. Yes, beautiful venue, so great to have, but almost so spread out that it was hard to see everybody you wanted to see.
In fact, I know that when I told through social media, when I said I was going to be here, some readers reached out to me and said, "Oh, great, we've never met, and I'd love to see." Well, we had to really stretch to make sure we could meet together, and it was almost like one of these Cold War movies, spy movies, where the spies meet in the park. Exactly.
Here's your Land Rover.
Exactly. Right. Surreptitiously.
I love that. I love that. Well, it's been a really exciting weekend, and there has been a ton going on. But last night, there was the Defender Service Awards. And you and I have talked at length about these awards in the past. We both attended last year. And then we were here last night. What were your impressions of the awards?
So it is such a moving event. And I happen to sit on some nonprofit boards in Maine where I live, in the island where I live. And I recognize what it would mean to simply be a finalist and get X thousands of dollars from my organization. And all I had to do was sit at a dinner, create a video, sit at a dinner,
incredible.
and people handing me checks.
Opportunity to vote for you, right?
Yeah, right. No, this is real.
Small task.
It is not.
The organizations that won their Defenders last night, the common thread that I noticed through all of them was that they had tremendous community support. They asked the community to vote for them, and they came out in spades, and they had twice as many votes for the awards
400,000 votes overall. Yeah. It was extraordinary. But to know what it meant to some of the organizations, now we had the good fortune that Land Rover invited representatives of those groups to come to the media sessions, so we got to talk to the actual finalists.
Oh, that's amazing.
And when I realized, first off, I'm vain enough to think that being editor of Rovers Magazine matters, right?
It matters to me, Jeff.
Thank you,
It matters
Thank
to us,
you.
and it matters to the underpowered hour community.
But when I'm listening, I'm meeting these folks, and you realize what they are doing
Yeah.
as organizations. Man, are we insignificant? I mean,
Oh,
these people are
it's-
making genuine emotional impact and valuable
And
community
saving
impact.
lives. That was the thing that stood out to me last night, was realizing like this Defender 130 that this organization is getting, plus the cash that the sponsors are providing them, is going to genuinely save human lives. And that is amazing. That was really inspiring.
I agree. I'm a wilderness EMT.
Yes, you
and
are.
So I look at these search and rescues, and I really want to cheer them on,
Of course.
because they are doing stuff
Of course.
at a much larger scale. But this is the other interesting aspect. When I listen to the organizations, the descriptions of them, while some of them cover big territories, they're not big groups.
Mostly they're very local.
Exactly.
And they're making this huge impact at this very, very small local level. And whenever you have that, you take out this bureaucratic
Yes.
level of managing the business, and you know that that money is going directly to these people living in these communities.
Horrifically, on occasion, you hear of the larger service organizations being involved in some kind of financial scandal or whatever.
Right.
Exactly. And, so somebody at a bureaucratic level has taken more money than they should.
Right.
But this is not, these are one staff person organizations.
These are mostly
Everyone else is a volunteer.
And there's one paid person making sure taxes get filed properly.
And that's about it. And not making very much money.
But
So
the people who are on the ground making these things happen, I mean, the benefit to those, I like you, I have served on many, many nonprofit boards, and I know how significant a gift like this could be. And one of the things I thought was really cool was they had a new award last night where they gave organizations who were runners-up last year another shot at it. They said, we had so many good applicants last year. We want to give them one more kick at the can. And it was sort of a redemption.
Yes.
The guy who went up and accepted the award for his organization said, like, at least this time I'll go home and be welcomed.
That was very clever.
Yeah,
that was very clever.
That was
And
great.
I will also say that at times I've certainly been guilty of telling Jaguar Land Rover, why can't I get a press vehicle at the moment I want it?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Because if you have an extra Defender 130, you know what? It should really go to somebody significant, doing something significant with it,
For sure.
than giving me a ride somewhere.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, what a great thing. I think the Defender Service Awards, this is the third year they're doing it, and I think it is growing into a really, really neat program that I know they want to continue to put a lot of effort
I certainly
behind.
hope so, because this is one of the greatest things that the corporation has done. And it does it in a manner not just to those of us who are, singers in the choir for Land Rover.
Right.
We've already got ours. But if you can actually make an impact, this is a very small company, Jaguar Land Rover, in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, not in its impact, but in its actual physical size.
Absolutely.
We all know the people who do all this work and farm it out or whatever. So to do something so impactful and to do it in a Land Rover way, which to me means we're not humanitarian, and we're not asking for lots of accolades from the national press or anything. We're going to do it within the community, within the Land Rover community.
Kind of grassroots.
Yes,
Yeah.
and bring it together that way.
Yeah.
That's an extraordinary step for any corporation to do. Most of them want to pat themselves on the back very loudly for doing the most modest things.
Yeah.
You are giving people who absolutely need these vehicles for life-saving, whether for people or animals, you're actually giving them a Defender.
Yeah.
And
you're reaching all sorts of small communities in the U.S. and in Canada, respecting that they are JLR North America.
Yes.
There were several Canadian
there were 2 Canadian winners.
organizations last
Great.
night.
Thank you, Abigail.
Yeah, really fantastic to see how they got their communities behind them. Really fantastic thing. I'm excited to see, as this program continues to develop and more sponsors get on board, how they can grow it. It's going to be great.
And the last thing is, it's interesting, there still aren't that many dealerships relative to the automotive world.
The local dealers here in Texas really stepped up.
They did. This is one of the great things about the Texas Rovers Club experience, is that the dealer network has by and large been very, very supportive of them.
Right.
Whereas in other places, largely where the dealerships seem to be owned by some of the national publicly traded corporations.
Right.
They're less so.
Right.
But here, the dealers really get behind the enthusiast community.
Yeah. And they came to the table and they pooled and they matched some of the other cash donations that were going to the runners up.
Right.
And they doubled the amount of money that the runners up were getting. So, if I were one of those runners up, I'm sad I didn't get a 130. But wow, I got twice as much money as I thought I was.
And when I go back to my board of directors, I'm going to get some applause.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. So I have been hearing rumors this weekend that maybe Destination Defender is destined to always move around the country, or maybe they're going to look at finding a permanent home for this event. What do you think Land Rover should do going forward with this event? Do you think it's better to move it into different markets to access more of the enthusiasts? Or do you think finding a dedicated place and establishing a home for it would benefit this event?
I think the event should travel.
I do too.
Just like it does. As long as they ask me to come. Every location they choose is going to be wonderful. I know that. But I think it should travel because that is the way to actually spread that feeling of connection of Land Rover's mission, which is not just to provide me with a commuter car, but to actually do something significant, like Richard Hammond always says.
Yeah.
Land Rover, he would always say, Land Rover would never be available to get an award because it's always busy doing something.
And
doing something significant.
Yeah.
So I think it should, without question, travel. I would hope it goes out to the West Coast. I would assume that's the next stop.
I would hope so too. That'd be great for me. And that'd be great for the Underpowered team since we're all West Coast based.
Right.
But I think there is an opportunity. We were in upstate New York last year, Texas this year. I'd love to see it on the West Coast. I think it could do really well somewhere in the Midwest, maybe Illinois, Indiana kind of area. Maybe send it out to the Carolinas one year. Maybe try to get up to New England one year.
Ta-da! That's exactly where we should be. In Maine. Just let me get on a ferry and I'll arrive. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your input. As
Thank
always,
you, Liza.
You're a luminary within this community. We love you. And we have we always have a great time at these events.
Yeah, it's great to see you. It was great to see Steve and Ike, and good to know they're covering the shenanigans, as you said. Yeah, because they're always involved with it. And kudos to the Underpowered Hour. You really need to know that you have an extraordinary connection with enthusiasts. Lots and lots of New England enthusiasts listen to you while they work.
Well,
really
I'm sorry for them, but they keep coming back for more. So
we will.
Keep making
we always will. Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really great to have you this morning.
All right, good to see you too. Thank you, Liza.
All right, well, man, it's I love that. I love that man so much. I can't even tell you.
He's just a wonderful person, and he's got a wonderful accent.
He does, yes. It's hard to imagine a Land Rover event without him.
I was able to get him to say "yow" one time.
Whoa.
One time.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the Texas collective U, and also the East Coast accent combination.
Oh my God,
it was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, just something to be witnessed. And really, but lots of Land Rover, celebrities here. Like we said, Dimbleby is here from the UK. Michael Bishop is here from the UK. They're all traveling with us secretly to another Land Rover event. Don't tell JLR. So they've all squirreled away.
And one thing that we'll have to touch on a little bit is, of course, the Defender Service Awards. The dinner was last evening, and they had the musical act Fitz and the Tantrums.
Yes, Fitz and his tantrums were there.
And they
which one is Fitz? Was it the girl? Was it the guy?
We couldn't establish that.
Yeah, we didn't know.
They could all be Fitz and they could all be Tantrums.
Oh my goodness. I do like the keyboard player, to me, reminiscent of a young Nicolas Cage.
I like the saxophone player, which I think was actually Joe Pesci.
Could have actually been Joe Pesci. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they played for the Defender Service Awards.
They did.
To sort of warm up that crowd. Speaking of world champion CrossFits, Ike did in fact engage in some of the CrossFit activities.
I participated in the CrossFit Challenge. Really, I'm the people's champion.
You really are. Yeah, I mean, you were handily beat by Jenna with very little effort. But it might have been stacked against you.
But I definitely had the crowd on my side.
You had the crowd on your side. The people's champion. And you held the record for burpees.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, which still stands.
Still
to this
stands,
day.
yes, to this day. One. And it's because no one else tried it. Yeah. But congratulations. It's something to be proud of. Less. You did a great showing. I'm sure everyone at the fitness tent appreciated it.
Still
you
talking
being there.
about
Yeah,
it.
I'm sure they are.
I saw me on their Instagram.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, absolutely. Well, yeah, it was cool. And we also went, we did some slacklining. I did some demonstration of his slacklining prowess.
I did a demonstration, a talk about slacklining.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Taught some people to slackline.
Yeah. Jenna also did some slacklining. And
I gave the professional slackliners a few
pointers. Yeah, just sort of how to do it.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. Liza and Jenna did a team slackline where Jenna walked on the slackline and Liza helped Jenna so that no one died, which is good. Safety third.
Smart.
That's our motto. But it was a great event, and looking forward to next year. I think that when you hear about this event, you should absolutely sign up and come out. It is a wonderfully produced event, really high end, lots of great stuff to do.
Yeah, if you've ever been to a festival, and you've been a little disappointed with disappointed with some of the amenities, you come out here and you're like, wow, this is a next level event. Everything's nice,
Yeah, everything is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with us there, but
No. It was a mistake to have us.
That was really the only fault of the whole
That
week.
was, right. Yeah. No, and I mean, they quickly tried to correct, but it was too late. It was too late. Once we're like a tick. We're like a Lone Star tick.
Yeah.
Once we dig in there, there's no getting us out. So,
well, let's see what we've got on tap for next time. I'm looking forward to seeing some more Land Rovers, and
I think what are we coming back to Texas next week for?
I couldn't say.
Yeah,
I couldn't say, but we'll be here.
Yeah, weekends in Texas. That's
we gotta get spring hats.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got to get a whole set. The Bob Steele set of cowboy hats.
A new wardrobe.
Yeah.
Well, we got a plane to catch.
We do. We're heading out, so we'll talk to you next week, and travel safe.
See you on the trail.
The Underpowered Hour is produced by Liza Barris, Ike Goss, and me, Steve Barris. Pavel Svardov composed and performed our theme music. Consider supporting the show on Patreon, and if you already do, thank you. Your support makes the show possible. For even more, check out our Instagram or Facebook.